Today, I want just to kind of let everybody know how you can reach us, how you can be a part of the show. As always, you can call into the show live at 385-218-6926. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, live. We live stream all those places. And then obviously, we have my son going crazy in the background. Trip!
Whoa.
Is that loud?
That wasn't that loud, but it might have been to your listeners.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Trevor, shut your door, please.
My son is going crazy.
Then stop screaming.
Anyhow, you can also listen to the audio version on all of your podcasting places, iTunes and Google Play stores, and anywhere else you get podcasts. If you guys do that, please do that, actually, and give us a listen and give us a 5-star rating. Subscribe to our show. We need all of your guys' help to be successful, so please and thank you. So, that being said, it's Sunday, and
Our son is bouncing off the wall.
our son is going crazy. Like, literally, he's losing his mind.
Like bouncing off the wall hyper all day long.
So, yeah, and I don't know what we're going to do. I think, you would have thought he'd be wore out, right? Because he went to bed at, midnight or 1. And then got up again at 1, so he should be well rested, chilled. Maybe that's the problem.
He's too rested.
He's too rested. I thought about getting him up at 9, but I felt like that would start World War III.
Probably
Yeah.
would have.
Because
You guys don't get along very well when you're awake without me being there to referee.
we're getting better. It's a work in progress.
Okay.
But yeah, we got a ways to go. So today is kind of a light news day, but kind of a weird news day because I've been talking a lot about all this stuff going on. Trump is fired. He fired the Secretary of State, and so he's going to replace him. But what was even more screwed up was the deputy director of the FBI fired him on Friday, 2 days before he retires with a full pension.
That's so shady. That is so messed up.
And I know he's saying that it's because of that this guy released privileged information to the news, to the fake news or whatever. And all the other stories I'm hearing is this guy actually didn't do that. He didn't release it to anywhere illegal. He didn't give any illegal information out. Trump's just pissed because this guy's going to testify against him. He's documented every conversation he's had with Trump. And I think Trump is doing a lot of what Richard Nixon did before he had to, what's the word I'm looking for? Step down. Resign. Yeah, before he stepped down, he had to...
cover his ass anyway.
Yeah, cover his ass.
Yeah.
And get out. And I think Trump's doing the same thing, and I think Trump's on his way of getting knocked out as well because the heat's getting hotter and hotter. Here's the thing. Trump is... I think he has too much... He doesn't want to be humiliated by being impeached. That if it keeps getting hotter and hotter, he's going to have to resign, and he will resign. Which, we can only...
And he'll blame everybody else on his way down, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He knew nothing of anything going on. Everybody was just colluding against him. The whole system's broke. Pretty much that is the Trump way. And you know what stinks is I've actually had a lot of good conversations today with my friend Derek. I had a great conversation with him. I just wish more people could have conversations. Derek,
open-minded conversations, yeah.
I know Derek kind of got frustrated with some people on Facebook because they were having a conversation and it turned into this slander, mud tossing, trying to basically call each other stupid. I don't understand why as people we just can't have civilized. Me and Derek have completely different views on gun control, most of the politics he comes up with, and yet him and I are able to have civilized conversations with one another, and we don't have to bash each other or be rude or any of that stuff. And I just wish we could get some more of that with people because I think that's a big part of what we're missing.
Everybody believes that whatever they believe is the only way, and
yeah,
there's very little productive conversation these days. Everything is just a big old fight.
And I think that leads to like, and not to like put you on the spotlight here, but I know like you hate having conversations
Well, wait. So
about politics and stuff.
okay, that's true. That'll give you. Almost 6 years together, and I still don't want to talk to you about politics or religion, because.
But I think it's because it's so ugly. I think that's what you're more afraid of, that it's going to get ugly, and then it just turns into something it shouldn't ever turn into.
Yeah,
I think
probably true. I don't like confrontation.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot. But that's the problem, is like confrontation is not a bad thing. Like, it's not terrible if you disagree with somebody. It's not terrible to have completely different life views as someone else. I think it's more terrible not to be willing to sit down and have a conversation. I remember we had some friends back in the day when we lived out in Tooele, and they had a party, and they had a guy there who I was completely polar opposites of on every political.
Completely different.
And I sat and had like a 2 or 3 hour conversation with that guy. It was one of the best conversations I'd had in a long time, because we were able to go, okay, we're not probably going to change how we feel over this conversation, but I'm open to hearing why you think what you think, and vice versa. And guess what? I came a little closer to the middle of some stuff after that conversation, and I feel that person did too. And that's what I think society is missing right now. Somehow we've gotten to this like whole, like you said earlier, like it's absolutely, you have to agree with me or you're a flippin' idiot.
Yeah.
Or I'm not even going to talk to you. It's almost like you go back to the Civil War, right? And if you had family that was in the North and you were in the South, well, those people weren't your family anymore. Like, because what do you mean you want us to, like, free slaves? That's the most ridiculous. You're an idiot.
Well, it's like you said about Derek earlier today. Like, you respect that he can say, I disagree with you, but I understand why you might have that position. Or, just having that open mind, keeping that open mind, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And
with people like Derek, I've had several conversations where we have, like, it's almost always we disagree, but if you look at our conversation feed, it's always like, oh, you know what, I could totally see that point. Or, hey, that makes a lot of sense where you're coming from there, but here's why I'm coming from here. So it's interesting. I do want to send a shout out to everybody watching us on Twitter and Facebook. Shout out to Jason. Hope you're doing good, buddy. It's been a long time since I spoke to you. My two brothers, Mikey and Billy. I love you guys, even though I want to stab you sometimes. Dustin, what's up, buddy? So I'm glad you guys stopped in to listen to the show, even for just a second. What do you think about this bill that they're proposing that would fine parents $500 if their kids found bullying other students?
I think it's actually ridiculous.
Why? Because
all we're doing is punishing the parents. The kids aren't going to learn anything because you're punishing the parents. You're not making the kid, do any type of, I don't know. To me, it's like when parents walk in and say, my kid is failing your class. What are you doing wrong? Like, we're just passing the buck for responsibility for our kids again.
Are you passing the buck, or is it like a starting point of actually making some kind of holding parents responsible, that they actually have to parent their kids and they actually have to maybe punish their kids or be involved and have conversations with their kids about how they treat other people? I don't think it's like the solution, but sorry.
No, I apologize. I got a little excited there. So maybe what we do is we start, where... okay, I guess the thing that I'm thinking is a lot of parents aren't aware of how their kids act at school.
Okay.
We can't be. As a mom of a teenager, I've had to just learn that I can't know what he's doing every hour of every day.
Yeah.
So if I don't know how he's acting and he decides to say some douche remark, I should have to pay $500? Or is it brought to my attention so that I can, get him in therapy or do whatever he needs to have done, or I can punish him? And then maybe if it keeps happening, maybe like a 3-strike rule. If it keeps happening, okay, then clearly as a parent, I'm not doing what I need to get my kid the help he needs. So maybe then fine me. But I don't think you can fine a parent $500 for every time their kid runs their mouth. Kids are assholes. They all are. Even our sweet little children who hate us
Are super douches?
are super douches probably at school. But they act like angels at home.
Well, I wouldn't get that far. Either.
Okay. Okay, well.
I feel like our kids are actually probably better at school.
That's what, they treat everybody better than they treat us.
And don't get me wrong, no, Mikey, I haven't dropped any weight. I just have a great ability of
It's all the lighting.
it's all lighting and camera angles. Like I can't see my feet for the life of me. And
We're trying, but we're failing.
yeah, there's this pizza place called The Pie that has ruined my life. It's like heroin for fat people. Like it's amazing. Anyways, getting back to what we're talking about. I don't think that I think maybe you have a point of like you don't punish because $500. I know, like for my mom growing up, well, this would never happen because my mom would beat the living shit out of us.
Yeah.
But for my mom growing up, if she would have had to pay a $500 fine for one of us bullying, then that would have been like a huge stress on our family. Like
Oh,
now you're
yeah.
talking about like how you gonna pay the rent.
Like even right now, like we are not exactly rolling in the dough. Can you imagine? Oh, your son called somebody fat at school, so now you have to pay $500. We'd have to sell a car. I mean, we'd have to like seriously sell some possessions to be able to even pay that right now.
Oh yeah, and we would be in some serious trouble. And that's the thing is like, so I kind of get that, but then I think of my mom, like that would never. And I don't think like here's the thing, like my brothers and I, we were dicks.
Yeah.
Like we were, and
I've heard some stories. I would like to hear some of these stories from Mikey and Billy's side because I've only
Yeah.
heard your point of view.
Yeah,
And I have a feeling they might be
it
different.
might be a little skewed on my side. That's probably accurate.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, we were assholes and we did a lot of messed up stuff as kids, but I feel like we never bullied. I feel like honestly, we were kind of raised to be the ones to look out for people who are being bullied. Now, we didn't stand for shit. Like, you didn't let like stuff happen. Like, you don't know.
Is Mikey shushing us?
Yeah.
We won't actually tell the stories. Just
Mike-
in case your mom's listening.
To my brothers, this is what I've learned in my elder years. I tell my mom shit now that I would never have told her back then, just now, because now it's funny. Like,
Now she just shakes her head. I love it.
Listen to what I got away with when you were out working your ass off.
I think last time when we took her out to Paris I think you told her something in the car, and I just remember her reaching over and just slapping your arm.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, he probably deserved that.
Yeah, like the best one was we had the 7-Up guy. So my mom has always worked at like gas stations, things like that, managing them mostly. And so her 7-Up guy, the guy who did the 7-Up for her store, he bought the house directly across the street from my grandma's. Well, we played baseball. There was, between his house and this other house, there was a baseball field directly across the street from my grandma's. Well, we made it a baseball field, right? And this son of a bitch always stole our baseballs. Like, if it went into his yard, he took it. And he was just a real douche nozzle. So, one night, and I think I told my mom this story last time I was back home. One night, my brother, so it was this guy's house, this plot of land where we made a baseball field, this other house, and then my brother John's house. And so one night, a bunch of us decided we were going to stay at John's house, and we were going to fuck this day's dude up. So we went, and we took, like, everything we could out of John's mom's cabinet. So I'm talking, like, oils, all kinds of stuff, right? Sugar, everything we get our hands on. And we poured it down this guy's gas tank. Then we went a step further, and Butler took a shit in a bucket,
Oh my God.
and we plopped it on the roof of his car. Now,
Rose is right. You were a bad example for that boy.
and then what we did is we continued, like, we laid up the whole night now, right? Because this guy had to go to work at like 7 in the morning, and we watched him like come out, and just you could tell by his body expressions that he was really pissed off because he's seen what happened to his car. Gets in his car, drives away, right? Like 2 hours later, we see the tow truck bring his car back. And I would have never told my mom that story then, like when it happened. But I told her that last year. It was like I said, the older I get, and I feel like she can only beat me, like, she's a lot weaker now. So,
She's just slowing in her older age.
yeah, I'm still afraid of her kicking my ass,
You should be.
but it's definitely going to hurt a lot less, or it's going to take a lot more reps before I'm feeling it. Yeah, we did, Mikey. See, Mikey was nicer, so he'd go get soda from the guy, as you see him mentioned there on Facebook. Not me. I hated him because he stole our baseballs. Because we were kind of ghetto poor. Like, we were already probably stealing those baseballs anyways from, like, the little Click store. Where we would go to steal, like, baseball gloves and everything else.
You're terrible.
Oh, we were criminals. Like,
I was such an angel till I was like 20. I didn't do anything wrong. I never shoplifted. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything when I was in school, when I was young.
yeah.
You're a heathen.
I
You
was.
made up for both of us.
Oh, yeah. Mikey said he hit the ball straight. Fuck you, Mikey. Hey, by the way, to my Facebook, to Mikey out there, you're listening, did Uncle Mike ever get to listen to the show? I'm always interested if my uncles get to listen to this. Those are people, by the way, my Uncle Mike, as you know, is like the best barbecuer ever.
I feel like your uncles could add some good stories to the
Oh,
show.
man. Oh, man. My Uncle Calvin, definitely my Uncle Calvin. My Uncle Calvin is awesome. Like, he's got some of the craziest, like, life stories of anyone I've ever met in my entire life. And he could cut, but the thing is, he could also come unhinged at a moment's notice.
You hit this guy's house with foul balls.
No, I didn't hit his house. That's the problem. It would just go into his yard. And he'd get pissed because it went into his yard and he would take my ball. Like, that is the problem.
Uncle Mike is listening
Oh,
right now.
Hi, Uncle
There you
Mike. Hope you guys are all doing good out there. But yeah, so that guy, I wouldn't hit. That's the thing is, I wasn't hitting the dude's house. We were just hitting into his yard, and the son bitch would take my balls. But yeah, we were heathens. Like, the little group of guys I hung out with. I told you about, like, the vending machine.
Oh, yeah. What was it, baking soda or something?
You boil water, put salt in it, and this is the old. It won't work on the new vending machines, but on the old vending machines, if you boiled water and put some salt in it, and then put it down the change slot return, it would, like, mess with the electricals, and it would, like, you could hit the return change thing, it would give you all the change. You could hit the sodas, and it would just give you a ton of sodas. So it would. I can't. I'm looking at Mikey talking shit to me right now. But yeah, it would give you all the sodas. So we had, like, a thing on it. One time, this kid that lived next to Brandon Heyman's house, at his basement one time, we had to have 300 or 400 cans of soda in that thing. Like, it was ridiculous.
Oh, jeez.
And until the cops finally caught on to us, and we almost got caught one night. It was terrifying. But then there was the baseball mitts. There was this place called Clicks back home. And it's still there as a grocery store now, I think is all it is. I think Kaylee actually worked there for a minute.
Is it kind of like Vincent Drug in the Sandlot? Just a little...
No, it's like a bigger store.
Okay.
But it's it used to be like kind of Walmart where it had clothes.
Oh, gotcha.
A little bit. That's where I used to go play like the surfing game on the Sega. I used to go down there. Shout out to Derek. Derek, we were just talking about you earlier and how much I hate you. No, just
Pretty
joking.
much.
Really appreciate Derek and being able to shoot the shit with him back and forth. No, but like it was kind of like Walmart. It had a little bit of everything. And we would... This is terrible. Yes, I've grown up, people, just so you know. This is the old me. Like 6 months ago.
You're really old these days.
Yeah, I know. I'm lame.
Like, yeah. Last night, I wanted to get into shenanigans so badly. I was like, it's St. Patrick's Day. Like, bring it on. I wanted to go, I don't know, drink some green beer. I don't even know. I don't even know what I wanted to do. And you were in bed by, like, 11.
I'm old now. Like, that was your fault. You married an old man. And I partied, like, hard before.
Before you ever met me.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
It's kind of, I feel bad because it's like we're on this opposite party of spectrums. But anyways, we were kind of like this terrible group of kids, and we'd go steal baseball because we played baseball like every day, like 3-on-3 baseball. Have you ever played 3-on-3 baseball, honey?
No.
So you have a pitcher, you have an infielder, and an outfielder, and we would have like it'd be like 55-45, right? But we couldn't afford like cool like batting gloves, so we'd go to Clicks and steal them.
I'm guessing Mikey is being sarcastic because even I know who Matt wants to draft first.
All right, I want
Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley number 1.
Is that so hot?
I'm so hot for you right now. Jeez. We might have to...
You've been talking about it for like a week straight.
This might be the end of the podcast because I might have to just go jump your bones. No, I want Saquon Barkley number 1, and I want Baker Mayfield at 4, or Brandon Chubbs on defense. But yeah, so we were kind of hellions growing up. So, like, but the thing is, like, we never bullied, I don't think. Going back to the original thing. Shout out to Michael Bowen watching us live on Facebook. Yeah, we never, like, I don't think we were bullies. I could be completely wrong. And there's
You guys bullied each other more than other people.
We were terrible to each
You guys
other.
beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, we were terrible to each other.
Didn't you break somebody's ribs or?
We broke Mikey's arm.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mikey got his arm broken in the side field, which there's a house there now. Billy, we sprayed spray paint in his eyes. Not,
That's right.
Not spray paint, hairspray, but then we painted him to the floor.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we were like, I feel bad for my mom. I mean, my stepdad, he's a douchebag, but we even like gave him a whole lot. We gave him a whole lot of crap. And yeah. So, Trev, 1 second, buddy.
Okay. No.
Dead
Sorry.
air. Sorry, it throws me off every time.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's
try
fine.
to like.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Trevor needs my attention more during our podcast than he does the rest of the week combined. He really gets offended that I'm spending time with you, I think.
I know, because it's like he won't want us to be around him at all.
Yeah.
Or he'll want you to go watch him.
But
play
then the
his
second,
game.
like, you get my attention,
Yeah.
game on.
Trevor, your Uncle Mike said hello.
Hi, puppy.
I don't think Trevor really hasn't hung out with my brothers, has he?
He met them that once at your mom's house when we did the spaghetti. That's it.
Yeah.
He's only been there with us once. I've only been there twice.
I know, we need to get back soon. I'm due for a trip back home.
I want to. Mike, we want to buy that house next to your mom. And
Yeah, that's
probably bribe you to fix it up for us.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, I need to figure out how that... I would love to buy the house next to mom. And then Mikey, yeah. I need some brother labor. Puppies. I got dogs going on. This is like a madhouse today. This is like a crazy, crazy podcast. Holy cow.
Oh my god, welcome to our life.
Welcome.
Alright, let me go get them out of here.
Okay. Mikey says he's coming out this year. I don't believe it. My mom says she's coming out. I still don't believe that. But we'll see. I would love to have everybody come
I
out.
just hope if anybody comes out, we get like some heads up.
And I'm terrified that we won't, because I never let my mom know when I'm coming. I pretty much have made it my mission to surprise her, because it's like 100 times better when I go home and she doesn't know I'm coming. I love it. All right, so let's get on to another story. So
while you're out, like, you know, vandalizing soda machines and
yeah.
and beating up your brothers, so
Well,
like the youth of America is like trying to take back the political spotlight right now.
Yeah, first off, they were kind of beating up me. Like, they did a lot more beating up me than I did them. They teamed up on me. I think they knew some stuff before I knew some stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like Yost versus Pierce, and they were like octagoning me before there was an octagon.
So how do you feel about all these like student walkouts and things like that? What, like,
I'm all for them.
Yeah.
I am all for them.
Do you think they're being seen by the right people?
I think people are misunderstanding them. Like, I think, and I've seen a lot of posts, and I've had conversations, actual conversations on Facebook, by the way, where we didn't like just tell each other you're retards. Here's what I think. I think obviously they're not as informed as they should be, right? It's new. What I'm excited about is that they're even getting involved at this age. Like, that the younger kids are getting involved, that they're starting to understand what's going on with politics and what these like pieces of shit like Trump are doing. Like,
it's funny that you say that, because like, and granted we were raised very differently, but like when I was in elementary school, I was going to like the Senate, and when I was in high school, we were like doing marches, and I was in Model United Nations, and I mean we were really involved. It was kind of a normal thing for us. So it's funny to hear you, I don't know, so surprised, I guess, Like that was a big thing here. Like I remember in elementary school meeting our politicians.
Now, here's the thing. I always put a lot on, like, I came up in a poor neighborhood, right? It is what it is. I did, and maybe other people. But I never really felt super poor, but I knew, like, comparatively that we were definitely in a lower income bracket. But I think just people who come from lower incomes, they're not in those, like, they're not really introduced to those kind of things that you were involved in. And I'm sure some people were, but I think that not enough. Like, obviously, because we've let the system stay the same. Like, the thing I've been saying all week is, I think this generation coming up, you know, the guys that are, like, freshmen in high school, even, like, you know, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders now, in the next few decades, they're going to reshape our entire political system. Because they're getting involved a lot earlier. They're paying attention now. They're paying attention to what the shitty president's doing, to like what the other people in office are doing, what their own elected officials in their states are doing. And if they don't like it, well, guess what? They're going to have a voice, and they're going to have a vote. And if you get all those young people to start voting, because right now, a big problem with the system is only old white people vote.
Yeah.
Like, and it's why it stays the same, because the same people are voting. You need to get underprivileged people voting. You need to get minorities voting. You need to get youth voting. Like, kids actually give a shit, which is why I always think that the age limit should be lowered to vote. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's what I believe.
I think at some point they're just young enough they don't understand anyway.
Sure, yeah.
I'm still there.
But here's the thing: if you're 16, like to me, that's another thing. Like in schools, it should be a bigger. Today, like I would rather someone. I think history is important, but I think a big part about history should be taught, or social studies, right? Should be about the political system, what's going on in politics. Not just like, oh, you have these you don't, not just so much. You have the wings, right? The, you know. You don't have like, you know, you have the legislative, the branches so much, but actually like go what's going on. What are they doing? Have these people actually voted? Have your senators actually voted? Have they voted like the way you would want them to? And I think that's what we need more of, more education. And then
more people demanding that our representatives represent us and our beliefs.
Yeah. Because it goes back to what we were talking about, or I don't know if I got into this with you, but just about the guy who, or was, I think we talked about last week. This is the guy who yelled at the kids from, you know, who was going to talk to him about Planned Parenthood because they thought he should support a bill that provided access to a year's worth of birth control.
And he thought it was deplorable because of his own religious beliefs.
Yeah, for his own religious beliefs, and obviously the people who helped get him elected believe differently. And that's not who you like. To me, I get like you have your belief system, but your belief system should not. Your belief system should not control like how you represent the people. If the majority of your people in a vote say this is what we think should happen, to me it's your duty as a representative. It's like I told you before, like it's like having my job, right? At my job, I would fight. If I disagreed with something, I would fight and fight and fight, right? But the second I realized I lost, or like the majority was going one way, now it's my job to support that plan like I created it. And like it's my number one priority. And I do that, and I will always continue to do that because I think that's how you represent a group of people. Whether it's politics or at a job or anything. Like you have to support the masses and what they want. And yes, you may think differently, and you may think you have it right and they have it wrong, but you're not put in that position to operate for you. You're there to operate for them. And if that's what they want, and even if it turns out to be wrong, it's about working for the people, you know?
Yep.
So I think what these kids are doing is awesome. And I know I kind of got off track there. Sorry, I could be long-winded on that subject.
So, okay, so you support the walkouts. So I support the walkouts, too. Cottonwood Heights, it's the little place where we live. It's a suburb of Salt Lake. Our police department got a lot of hype this week because they made fun of kids who, during the walkout, went to 7-Eleven. And now, like, the students of Brighton High are, like, demanding an apology, and they're saying that they were undermining their way that they were mourning. Well, if you're at 7-Eleven, instead of, like, skipping the walkout and the moment of silence and everything, I feel like you're not mourning. I feel like you're taking advantage of 17 minutes out of school.
Yeah, no.
I lost you, didn't I?
No, I'm multitasking. I was replying to something. No, you're 100% right. But here's the thing. I don't want to stop this. Like, what pissed me off is I did see one of those where the kids were protesting, right? They did their walkout, and they started talking about needing gun control, and the teacher shut them down immediately. And they said, this is supposed to be a peaceful protest. That's what the teacher said to the student, because they were talking about gun control. Suddenly it's not peaceful. That's bullshit. Like, they weren't hurting anybody. They weren't, like, lobbing shit at anybody. They were simply saying, as part of our protest, you need to know that we think gun control needs to happen.
I think for the most part, it was handled really, really well. It was planned. It was purposeful. And the districts, at least the 2 districts that we are kind of associated with, I felt handled it really well. I got an email as a parent saying, we fully support that our children have voices, and they basically created a safe place for them to go out and protest and do their thing. So I think for the most part, it was received very well. Administration handled it really, really well. Instead of saying no, or, you know, we're going to mark you absent or whatever, which they could do. They have every right to do. But I really feel like they supported the kids and their desire to voice their opinions.
I know that we got some, I had some conversations with some people on Facebook who basically were upset because they said it was basically it was basically affecting their kids' education. It was disrupting their kids' education. And I don't disagree. 100% it is. But to me, like, that's what protests are about. Protests are about being disruptive.
It's about, trying to raise your voice and make a change.
Exactly. So you can be disruptive and be polite, but that's the whole point of a protest. So I think it's good. As much as I think it's good that the schools accepted it and they kind of went along with it and they supported it, I think it shouldn't have mattered. Like, I still think the kids should have done it either way.
And I think they would have. But I'm just saying, like, I think it was really important, at least from a parent standpoint, that, like, it was welcomed. Like, it wasn't, our kids weren't treated like criminals for wanting to voice their opinions. Like, they were encouraged to share their thoughts.
Yeah.
Which is not always the case.
No, and trust me, I was super thrilled. I just want just another check mark on why I think, even though this isn't like a planned place we wanted to end up for a while, I think we couldn't have landed in a better spot temporarily to have Trevor in such a great school district. I do want to read what Mike said on Facebook. I don't know if you've read it, but he says, if the majority of people are ignorant and we go with the masses philosophy, then we are ran and ruled by ignorant people. That's why we are a republic. I get that, but who are we to say what's ignorant or not, I guess? Because if... let me see, how do I respond to this?
I don't know.
Because I see where he's going with this, and I totally get it. But on the flip side, I think that overall, like, wisdom will win out. Like,
I think we put too much trust in, like, our politicians. Like, all these people who voted for Trump and who really thought he was going to make America great again. And now they're
I said I was sorry.
And now they're... You didn't vote. I know you didn't. And now they're all saying, well, wait, he didn't do this, he didn't do this, he didn't do this. But, like, he's human. I think he's a douche. Don't even get me started on that whole thing. But we just put so much faith and so much stock in these people because we're not willing to put in the work. We're not willing to do things and fight for things and put in the work and the time. So we elect these people who say they can get it done and just trust that they're going to handle it.
No, that's 100% true. And honestly, I think the majority of the ignorant people have more talk than they do action, meaning that those are the people who are pissing off, are trying to, like, start fights with people like Derek and I on Facebook and don't have, like, not, like, any kind of knowledge or, like, facts, or, like, they just want to, like, be divisive and have an argument. Those people aren't going to go vote. Those people aren't going to, because that means they have to leave their fucking keyboard and do something productive. And the most of the time, that's not going to be the case. Where, yeah, you're right. We didn't vote because we got to the line was, like, ridiculous. But at the end of the day, we were canceling each other out. Like, if we were both voting for Trump or Hillary, I would have stayed. But
and I honestly feel better having not voted than voting for either of them. Truly, like, I know a lot of people have issue with that, with issues with me not voting. But I honestly could not in good conscience vote for either of them.
And up until literally a little bit after he was elected, I totally thought Trump was the right move. I said it for over a year on this podcast that in theory, and it's still in theory, if he would actually followed with what he had to say, he would have probably been a pretty good president. Turns out he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And his whole entire family are pieces of shit. And they're driving this country into the ground. Worrying about dumb shit like a wall that's not going to do anything to stop people from coming over. Or breaking up families of people that have been here for 30 plus years and haven't done anything wrong. I get that they're illegal, quote unquote, right? If we're going by the standard, and I appreciate the law. But there's ways, if someone's been here 30 years, they've been productive, and even in some cases, like, people have been here and served for our country. To me, the second you serve for this country,
you're a citizen.
You're a citizen.
Period. Yeah.
Like, you defend me, when you defend my freedoms, and you do, like, you put your life on the line for this country, in my opinion, that makes you a citizen. I don't care that you didn't take a fucking test or you didn't get sworn in yet.
Which, let's be honest, most people who take that test know more than natural-born American citizens.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, those people should be citizens. Or if you've been here 30 years, you've raised a family here, you've got natural children here, and you've never broken a law, but we just happen to find out that you weren't documented, and now we're sending you back to a place where you literally don't even know anymore. It's just not the right way to go about it. I'm all about laws. Like, you know me, I love my rules.
Today you're all about tangents.
And tangents.
You're like...
I'm sorry.
All over the place.
I'm
No, I just
sorry.
think it's funny. I
could just go off.
You're very passionate right now.
I am. I could just go off on stuff like this because I am passionate, because I believe that we do live in a great country. I don't think we live in the greatest country. I think this country can be great. I think it has the potential to be great. I think it was great at one time, but we got our shit all messed up.
Yeah.
Like, we're all worried about how much money we can make, and I'm guilty of that. I love money. You know that.
Well, yeah.
I love money. I love making as much as I can, and I don't fault anybody for doing that. But I think when making a profit or making a dollar comes before just being human and taking care of humanity and having some humanity, I have a problem with that. Like, the fact that, like, if we get sick right now, we can't go to the doctor because of $30. Like, it's such a screwed up system.
Yeah.
And I want it to be better, and I demand it to be better. So, yeah, I come on here, and I know I go off sometimes, and I appreciate you guys dealing with me going off sometimes, because I can't help it. Like, when I go on tangents, like Kim says, I can get the ball rolling. It will just roll downhill all day long.
Well, the reason I was asking how you felt about the student walkouts and stuff was because I actually heard that Nickelodeon went off air for 17 minutes, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, so they did that for basically to represent the 17 kids that got killed in Florida.
Yeah. And most of the walkouts, I think, included like a 17-minute moment of silence.
Yeah.
Which was really kind of cool to see.
And a
bunch of teenagers actually respect that.
Yeah, and some schools are even doing it like every Monday. They're just standing in class at 2:14, which stands for, February 14th. When it happened, the day it happened.
Gotcha.
For the rest of the school year on Mondays, they're going to stand up for 17 minutes.
17 minutes every day?
Every Monday.
Wow.
Every Monday for the rest of the school year. Some schools are doing that. And I think that, here's why I like it. I get that it's because it keeps it up front in people's mind. Because I think we're so good at forgetting this stuff and putting it to the side.
There's hype. There's all this hype for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's quiet.
Like, oh, we have to do something. And then we don't do shit. So...
Yep.
And I thought what was really cool is that they actually had on the screen, they just said, in support of kids leading the way.
Yeah, which again is awesome. I think I applaud everybody who's supported these walkouts, because I think it did teach our kids that that their opinion matters. And I know, at least with our kid, he thinks that we never hear him, and, so I think it's important for these kids to know that, like, we care and we applaud them for being passionate and trying to make changes.
Which is weird, because I feel like, how do I say this? I feel like we're pretty good parents. Like, we're invested. We care about Trevor's grades. We care about Trevor's happiness. And it drives me, and I'm sure I was the same way at his age, but, like,
a total douche canoe.
It's just it's just heartbreaking when your kid thinks that you don't give a shit, and everything you do is in some way directed to their happiness. In your opinion, like you feel like you're doing everything you can to make their life better than yours was at their age.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I think that turns around on us because I think sometimes kids have too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say kids could learn a thing or two from,
Yeah.
you know, being humbled a little.
Like, I think I'm interested because a couple things. I want to know what your guys' opinion is out there. So next week in the Pierce household, we're going to start for Trevor a screen time. He gets 90 minutes of screen time every day. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think giving your kids like a set screen time every day is a bad plan? Do you guys do that? How do you handle balancing like today's technology and how kids want to be, use the technology
24/7.
24/7? How do you guys balance that? Because this is something like we've, seen therapists and stuff, and they've all said to us we need to do this. So we're kind of maybe a little bit behind what they would hope we have done it, but we're going to lay it in, and I'm interested to see if you guys have any other ideas that you guys do. Because it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be hell come tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get ugly. Shit is about to get real.
Yeah, I think when he runs out of time, it's going to be a train wreck that first day.
So the idea is that he gets 90 minutes every day. He can have 90 minutes of uninterrupted screen. Well, not uninterrupted, but 90 minutes of screen time. And then if he wants to play longer, he has to work for it, basically. He has to do a chore. He has to take the dogs for a walk. He has to go play outside. It's not even all work. But he has to do something that gets his ass off of that chair.
Yeah. And I don't think it's bad for him. I think it's a good idea. I think it's totally healthy for him.
Mikey says all kids need exercise.
Why am I not getting these texts? I think that... Did my Facebook just die?
I don't know. You're still going on mine.
Oh, yeah. Mine wasn't updating. There's some good stuff on here. So, yeah, let us know what you think about that. Also, just a real quick on here on Facebook, Michael brought up the idea of... see, I got two things here that got me interested.
The Obamacare thing? Or
Yeah,
what?
Mikey, my brother, says something about the Affordable Care Act. Mike, what did you mean about that? Let me know. Or you could call into the show at 385-218-6926. I just want to know...
if he's referring to, like, the Medicaid thing, then he's correct. Like, that's literally what the... Oh, Trevor, you just sneezed all over me.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. Out. That was gross.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, that was really nasty, everybody. So, the Medicaid representative for the district told us that that is the case. That the reason that they multiply your checks, your monthly income by 4.3 now, or quarterly income by 4.3, is because of those extra checks, and that was part of Obamacare. So now, we're actually, it looks like we make more than we really do, so we don't qualify for any type of assistance.
And the best part is they count that as, like, pre-taxed money. So even when I'm paying my taxes, I'm still getting dicked. I also wanted to...
Mikey says, you go, girl.
I also wanted to talk about the other Michael on our Facebook page asked about what's going on with Toys R Us. And that's actually something I had a lengthy conversation about on Twitter today, back and forth with a guy. Because what happened, as you guys don't know, Toys R Us is closing. And I think we all have memories of Toys R Us at one point or another being kind of a really cool place. Because they had all the coolest, hippest toys. It was usually hell of expensive, so like my family didn't shop there very often.
It's hella expensive, and they have shit customer service. And, like, returns, exchanges, anything like that is like pulling teeth. So I'm amazed they've stayed open as long as they have.
But they filed for Chapter 11, and the reason they did that is because from one of the conversations I had today was they actually, someone else bought them, some shitty investors, and they were pulling all the profits out of the company to invest into other businesses. And I'm going to have to trust you to watch the Facebook page today because it's not going forward for me.
That's not good. Okay.
The rest of it's streaming fine. But anyways, yeah, so they
Do you want my laptop since you're running the show?
No, you're good.
Okay.
But yeah, they have shitty people running it. They were pulling the profits out and taking those profits to invest them in other businesses that were failing terribly. So they shit business. They got handled terribly. The conversation that I had today was the guy said, you know, the administration should jump in and this stuff should be regulated. And I completely disagree. Like, I don't think everything needs to be regulated. I think sometimes when you have shitty business people, they're going to do shitty business things, and their businesses are going to go out of business. Now, unfortunately, that will affect thousands of people who are going to lose their jobs because of this. But we can't... It's like when the banks went down. Like when the housing market fell apart because of the stupid banking and what they were doing. Like, I would have let the banks fail. I think someone said at one point you could give every American who pays taxes like a $50,000 check. I would have much rather put that money in the pockets of individuals.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. It worked, right? The banks got turned around. Things got leveled somewhat. There's arguments that they're still doing shitty stuff now to get us back into a scary situation with housing. But I would rather give the money to the people because I think the people are going to reinvest it better and are going to like boost the economy faster if you give them the money. I'm not about saving businesses. I get people lose their jobs, and I hate it. Trust me, as somebody who has lost his job due to foreign competition and other things, shitty business practices, still don't believe that it is our job to save everybody. Like, unfortunately, those people are going to go without jobs. But like me, that gives them an opportunity to get retrained and to chase different dreams and to...
Yeah, but not everybody has the same opportunity you did.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, like, no matter what, like, at life, most of us, the whole, like, idea of working at a job for 30 years now is unheard of.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to evolve at some point in your life anyway, so why not now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather be, like, now learning a trade that's going to be relevant for the next 20, 30 years than praying that the government saves my company. Yes.
Michael Bowen said ATI.
Yeah, exactly, like ATI.
Do you see that there or no?
Yeah, I just seen that.
Okay.
So it started to come back up.
So you've got did you see his technology one?
Yeah, I didn't read it.
All right.
But yeah, so that's what I think about that. Like, Toys R Us, it sucks because they are like just a fond memory as a kid of somewhere where I thought it'd be cool to be able to shop there. But also, they didn't evolve as a company. Like, in today's world, you have to evolve constantly. And then they just wanted to be a toy store and nothing more. Like, you have to be like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a destination place, right? You have to have something that people want to go there to do that and buy shit. Like, if you're just like a Best Buy, look at Best Buy. Best Buys are a great example. They're dying.
I hate that fucking
You
store.
love Best Buy.
I hate Best Buy. Shut up. I hate it. It's the worst.
But
It's hell to me. It is hell going in Best Buy with you like it's hell going in Toys R Us with Trevor.
that's fair.
Thank God for Amazon.
Yeah. But no, like, those stores, because they're not destination places. They don't do anything but have product to sell. And that's just not good enough. You have to have, I heard one guy talking, and about, you need to have other things. Like, they could have like a slime center or just other random stuff to make it a destination. Oh, it'd be really cool. We got to go look for this toy anyways.
Something to keep you in the store.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's what companies who from our youth have stayed around, because they've evolved and they've become like a destination. They've made themselves not just product based, like it's an adventure to show up there. And unfortunately, Toys R Us hasn't done that, so they will be missed. But yeah. So I want to get back to the phones and the screen time. So Michael says here on Facebook, technology is communication with others more so than a newspaper like in the old days. However, moderation in all things. Yes, I totally agree.
That's kind of where I struggle. Like, communication is more than just our kids, technology is more than just our kids being lazy. Like, yeah, our kid is on a game or watching YouTube the majority of the time, but like, that's all kids do these days.
Yeah.
So for me to completely shut that out of my kid's life makes him like the instant loser of his junior high.
Sure, but I don't think we're completely shutting him out. We're doing exactly what Michael's saying. We're moderating.
Yeah.
Because I also want him to be able to interact with people face to face. Because I think it's a dying quality that people need to have. Like, that's never going to,
Tact. Yeah.
it's not going to go away. You're going to have to understand how to deal with people, how to work in groups, how to, like, just how to react in different, like, ATI was a great example. You know how many different, like, backgrounds and personality types and everything we had at that place? And you have to learn how to, like, interact with all those and how you're going to interact with all those. And you don't do it online. You don't do it over text messages.
The flip side of that is, like, if you are really so adamant that you don't want to be around people, then at least, like, learn. At least if you're going to be on computers 24/7, learn some shit and know how to do some things to where it can support you in the future. Because he's so smart. Our son is so smart. He does not think so. But if he would actually put some time and effort into coding, like, he would be starting towards a career that he would love, but he won't.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, I'm learning a lot of code, like, getting real deep in Java right now and Python and other stuff, and I love it. And I really think that if Trevor gave it a chance, and I guess that's what frustrates me, because we've said, hey, you can earn more time, and wouldn't it be fun to earn more time by staying on your computer and taking this coding course? He pretty much just gives us the big old finger and tells Steve a dick. Like,
yeah, that's pretty much what he does when we tell him anything.
Yeah, and if it's not playing a game, then he's not interested. So my hope is that this change will be I think it will be positive. I think it will be stressful for a few weeks, maybe a few months.
I think once he starts getting outside, especially now that it's warmer and kids are going to be out again, I'm hoping he remembers that there's more to life than his computer.
Yeah, no, and I think he will. I think it's the right move from a parenting. What I am excited about seeing is if you two kill me next week.
Probably.
As Sunday, I've talked my family into, I wanted to do it once a week, but I knew that was a terrible plan because they would shoot it down. So what I said is, all I asked for is...
Okay, wait. You are just as guilty as the other two of us.
I didn't say I wasn't, but I think that I could handle once a week.
So he's referring to our addiction to our technology.
Yes.
I'm always on Facebook or Scrabble or some game. Trevor's always playing games, watching YouTube. Matthew is always on his phone or podcasting or setting up something for the podcast. We're all on our phones all the time.
I also do a lot of homework.
You do a lot of homework, but I'm just saying there are times that I think you're over here doing homework, and then all of a sudden you laugh hysterically because you're watching some video or something.
Got to multitask.
Yeah.
No, but so next Sunday, I said, you know what? Let's do something crazy. Saturday night, before we go to bed, we're all going to shut our phones off, and we're going to go technology free for one day.
I'm already having anxiety about it.
I know. And Trevor's going to want to punch me in the face.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's good. Like, I think it's good. Honestly,
no, Mikey. Trevor does not play any sports. Trevor does not acknowledge sports, watch sports, play sports, anything. He gets that from his mother.
Yeah, I wish, like, trust me, I wish. So
if
bad.
he loved football, you guys wouldn't even need me.
Yeah. Well,
but he doesn't.
We'd still need you, but not as much because it wouldn't be as angry. But no, I do wish he played sports. He played basketball for one season, and I thought Kim was going to kill me because I would yell ruthless aggression.
He'd be like encouraging him to like trip other kids, and nobody wants to play with that kid.
I didn't say trip, just ruthless aggression. Use your body when you're going.
Get that ball back.
Yeah.
Get it. Just take it. No, that's called a fucking foul. You were not the best sideline dad.
No, I give you that, and I never will be because I think it's because I love winning. Like, I'm competitive, and unfortunately, that doesn't work so hot in parenting. That would be cool though if they had a competitive parenting. I could totally rock it.
They do. Absolutely. What do you think Facebook is? All day long, you hear about my rich friend.
Oh yeah.
And who's a super mom. That's exactly. You just don't have a vagina. That's why you don't know that there's already a thing called competitive parenting.
I can't even tell you if I have a vagina because I can't see it past my belly. But you say so.
Competitive parenting is called motherhood, honey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm out of that. That's beyond me. Mike said I used to be strong in the paint. Damn right. I was always big boned.
He tells me all the time that he used to play basketball, and I can't even picture it.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. You don't believe me. I wasn't always fat. Like, I used to play. We played baseball.
Well, you were what, like 350 when I met you,
It was bigger than
and
that.
you've gone
but
up
yeah.
since, and you've gone
Yeah.
up since there. So like, I have never known you.
But even at 350, I was hooping it at the gym once in a while. But we used to play. Here's the deal. In my neighborhood, it was me, Brandon. Here's the guys. Me, Brandon Heyman, Butler, the Bumbelows, Danny and James Bumbelo, occasionally Sean Pack. But that's kind of the group we had, right? And every day you were doing a couple of things. You're either playing baseball, or you were playing football, or basketball. In basketball, we would go all day. We had the school that's up by my mom's house now, and they had a nice little setup. And we'd play ball all day long. And I miss being able to do those things. And I want to get back to them. If I can ever like get to move again, that would be great. I'm sick of being fat.
So two things. First of all, if you get skinny, maybe my brothers would invite you to their little secret pickup game. Whenever they're in town, they always go get the keys to the church somewhere and go play ball. It's always Ken, Dan, Damien, Ben, sometimes Brant.
No,
But they've never invited you.
no,
You're not cool
well,
enough.
I think they hate me.
I think they hate fat people.
Well, no,
'Cause they hate me, too.
I think Ken hates me for sure.
I don't think my family likes me most of the time. So
Dan tolerates me. I think he can like me a little bit, but Damien hates me. So yeah, but yeah, no, I would love that because I think that would be something we could bond over because we're so different. It's like the one thing, like the sports thing. I think we could definitely.
Mikey says you
Fuck
never
you, Mikey.
you never moved far from the hoop.
How can I?
That's why you were so strong in the paint.
How can I block this son of a bitch? I'm gonna block. Can you block people? This is probably bad for the podcast when I just start blocking listeners.
So I love Michael Bowen's point. 1 hour a day, dinner, family time, turn everything off, eat together, go out, whatever you want, as long as it's time together. I love that. I could do an hour a day, especially if it's like a set hour, 7 to 8 every day, whatever, 8 to 9. 8 to 9 would be good before his technology off time anyway.
Just shut everything off.
Just shut everything
Let's
off.
start it tomorrow.
TV off, everything off. We eat dinner together. We cook together so I don't have to be the only one cooking.
Let's start it tomorrow.
Michael, you might have just saved my marriage.
And increase my sex life.
I'm sorry you had to hear that.
For both, I appreciate you.
It's a great idea.
I'm gonna stab my brother in the chest right now. Talking shit. I used to run up and down that court.
That makes so much sense.
No.
Why you were
No.
strong in the paint because
No.
you never moved out of it.
This is bullshit.
Isn't there like a 3 second in the key rule?
Yeah, this is bullshit. I used to run up and down that court. I'd play all day long.
Do they make an exception for fat people?
No, I was always like thicker. I always was. Like this just is what it is. But I could like get up and down. I could play every sport. I could see my face. I could see my feet. I could see my dick. It was amazing. Like
Those are good times.
those were the great days. But I need to get back in. But that being said, what do you think about? Let's start that tomorrow. 8 to 9. We just shut off everything.
Okay. I'm totally into this.
All right.
Anything that's on from that time, we can record.
Yeah.
I love it.
Trevor's not gonna like this.
No, he's not.
But we're gonna do. Can not with the whole Facebook and Twitter world listening. Can I have your team member parent agreement here that we're gonna start this tomorrow?
We can start this tomorrow.
All right, I'm in. I'm
We
totally.
can start this. It's not going to be easy for any of us.
No, it will suck for a little while because
I inevitably I'll like have to look up a recipe or something. When does mom get her phone?
yeah,
It's going to be rough, but I'm totally down, especially with it getting warmer outside. Like, I want us to start walking our big fat dogs. Even our dogs are fat, you guys.
yeah. Our dogs are super fat. Snickers is chubby, but like Millie, we have a black lab that is as wide as she is long.
She has like fat rolls on her belly.
Yeah, she's a chubby monkey, but we love her.
Well, she's kind of a binge eater. She likes to steal food.
I do agree with Derek on his Facebook quote, work is work. Cook together, pick a show for the fam,
Yeah.
and make it happen. It sounds like you guys are all better parents than me.
Pretty much.
So I do appreciate your input on the family situation here at the Paris household. Mikey, I might have to block you for your bullshit lies. I did get out of the hole.
That made me laugh really hard. That kind of made my night.
This guy thinks he's all kinds of funny. Bastard. I'm mom's favorite, so what's up with that?
I'm just saying,
I'm the favorite.
That's totally what I was gonna say.
Do you think I'm the favorite, or do you think I just think I'm the favorite?
I think you just think you're the favorite. Mikey's a good guy. He takes good care of your mama.
Yeah.
Same with Billy. I don't know much about Bobby because he blocked me because he hates my soul.
Well, didn't Mikey and Billy block you?
I don't think so because they're still my friends.
Billy is?
Yeah.
Oh. So
Yep.
well, Bobby blocks me like anytime. Fuck you, Mikey. Anytime I. This is why we should never.
3-inch vertical.
Why did I ever decide to go live with this show? This is a terrible mistake. The thing is, Bobby kind of like, he'll be my friend. And so, like, I'll just be joking. Like, the last time he blocked me is because he would quote on, like, everything.
Yeah.
Like, he would be the first one to like his own post.
Oh yeah, he does that a lot.
So I was just joking, like, oh, my brother Bobby, nobody is more social media than him. He can't, like, get away from it.
Yeah.
Within, like, an hour saying that, blocked.
You got in trouble. You got us both blocked, actually. But Mikey and Billy take good care of your mom, so I'm not willing to say that you are the favorite.
I am totally the favorite. I feel like you always get your best work first, and then you kind of, it drops afterwards. So I feel like those guys are kind of like, what's that movie?
Wait.
What's
Multiplicity.
That? Yeah.
I'm the youngest, so I don't agree with that theory. Wow.
I mean, we are the ones living at your mom's house.
Wow. I'm sorry, which one of us is the man of the house? Not you.
Trevor. That's fair. Yeah, you know, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Dear baby Jesus, please forgive me for what I've said here today. I did you see, so you know about Stormy Daniels, right? Like, she's the,
Yeah, the porn star.
that supposedly had sex with Trump, which is hilarious, and they're going through that whole court system. I think it's great that the Democrats in Utah are proposing that I guess there's a proposed Donald Trump highway here in Utah.
It's actually been shut down now.
Oh, it has?
Yeah.
Oh, you're killing this.
I know.
Well, at one point there was a Donald Trump highway planned, and so the Democrats, in what I thought was hilarious jokesterness, threw out, well, a Donald Trump highway, we need to have the Stormy Daniels on ramp.
It's genius.
I think it's like, if you get like, that's like,
I think if you're ridiculous enough to honor him with a highway, you might as well honor her with an on-ramp. Because neither one of them deserve it.
So I seen his son is getting a divorce. Eric's wife left. How long do you think that his wife, the first lady, Melania? Do you think Melania lasts? If he lasts a whole single term, do you think she lasts with him the whole term?
I can see them being people who are all about appearances. Mm-hmm. She'll stick it out, and then it'll be some.
Well, it's probably very lucrative. Like, he's probably for her to stick it out, because he's kind of turning out more and more every second of every day to be a bigger douche. And,
which is impressive, almost.
Yeah, because I didn't think he could get any douchier, but every day I feel like something comes out that, yeah. The only sorry.
He's number 2. Who's number 2? Billy? Oh, maybe he means you're number 2. Not bad out of 5. You're number 2 favorite. That's good.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I'm usually much lower on my mom's totem pole.
I would totally take being number 2, because Mikey, he does do shit, and I just hang out
Mikey's
here in Utah.
handy.
Yeah,
Mikey's handy. Mikey is kind of Mikey and Billy are kind of the manly men of your family. They got all of your manliness.
I love you too. I think.
I'm just saying, when it comes to like fixing things, it would be nice to not be the one that I have to. I actually took a picture the other day of us working on Matt's motorcycle, but he wouldn't let me post the one of me working on his motorcycle because he was afraid that his brother would give him shit.
Thanks. You might as well just fucking post a picture now. I don't know how, because I get it. We're like, we come from different sperm, and maybe that has something to do with it. But my 3 siblings, I mean, maybe Heather does too. Who knows? She thinks she does. That bitch is crazy. But the 3 male siblings I have are very handy guys. Like, all of them can do very handy things. Like, Mikey's good roofing and just kind of building stuff, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
Billy Sam, even Bobby, before he went batshit crazy, was really good at, like, laying carpet and stuff like that. I have none of those skills. Like, none of them.
You, like, just learned how to patch holes. And even that was a little bit questionable.
Yeah, that was shady at best.
Yeah.
But I'm great at calling people to fix shit. Like, that is my
You
strength.
can make a phone call like nobody's business. And you know what? You can build a spreadsheet
Yeah.
that would make a girl's knees weak. I don't know. I got nothing.
It is weird because I think that's why maybe one of the reasons I'm always motivated to have a good income, because I know, like, I don't have it in me to do the shit those guys do and to fix cars. Like, my brother Billy sometimes can listen to a car and tell you what's wrong with it.
That's awesome. We need a mechanic in the family.
But I fucking, like, I'm terrible.
We need to move back to Ohio.
Well, let's buy that house next to my mom's.
Okay.
Mikey could come and fix it. And it's like, I think it's down to like 28 grand.
Mikey says you got the gift of gab. That's true. He can talk for days
Yeah. But let me tell you, it doesn't,
about anything.
Doesn't pay shit though, brother.
No, it does not.
This podcast is not as lucrative as I would hope it to be at this point. But we're still growing. We're going to get there. We're getting our feet off the ground. And a way we could do that is if you guys all share this podcast with all your friends so they can listen to the phenomenal Pierce the Mind podcast on Fridays and Sundays. Well, I know one person probably won't be listening after you took them to task this week.
I'm a little disappointed that Eric didn't respond to my comment. I don't know if he didn't see it or if he just really got butthurt. I don't know.
Like, you, like, and I'm totally like, no, it's not a bad thing.
Like,
but you, like, released the Kraken.
well, somebody needed to say it.
No, I think you're
I
totally
like the kid.
right.
He's fine. He's smart, whatever.
He's just a douche.
He's just a douche, and I don't like that personality type. You know that.
Yeah.
I don't like it when you're like that either. I tell you all the time. I remind you all the time to have manners.
And I think I've gotten better since
I
we've
know.
been
I'm
married.
just saying, like, he's not the first person I put in his place because he was.
No, I think he deserved it.
Inconsiderate and-
I'm surprised he didn't comment back.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed.
Maybe he's waiting to hit me up at school. Like, what?
Or maybe he's. I'm surprised he hasn't called in tonight. Actually,
I think he truly fears you. Like,
that's good. I'm glad.
I think he absolutely, truly fears you. So the last thing I want to cover before we get off here tonight, as we're coming up against it, is the sheriff, and I can't remember where he's from, but this guy's a fucking genius. So there was some law that happened back before World War II, basically said that if you're running a prison, that any excess money you have from feeding the inmates, you get to keep. So this guy just bought a huge $750,000 beach house, and when he was doing his financial disclosure forms, he was legit. Like, he didn't hide it. He didn't try to hide it.
Because he didn't break any laws.
Yeah. So he made like an extra $150K a year off of money that, because they didn't spend it on feeding the inmates. So on one side, like, I'm totally think this guy's a genius, and I'm pretty jealous that I didn't think of this, or that I wasn't running a prison to think of this. But you gotta, like, he's at least detail oriented to figure this stuff out, right? But on the flip side, like, this could be a very slippery road. Like, this law needs to be changed. Because...
Love you, Mikey. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, brother. I guess you're leaving. Talk to you later. I still fucking hate you. Have a good day. No, but I think that the law needs to be changed, because it's like, this guy could just be feeding these guys ramen 24/7.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they eat. But, I mean, pretty savvy, really. Because if nobody's going to give a shit enough to, like, update the laws, then somebody might as well take advantage of it. So he didn't do anything wrong. He just found that loophole that we all wish we had found first.
Yeah.
And bought himself a beach house with it.
And most people probably, and even people probably knew about it, but they probably said, no, this won't be legal because, well, it was like before World War II. No way this law still applies. Well, turns out, folks, that if a law doesn't get changed,
It's still law.
it's still legit, and it still has merit. And there's people who quote laws from like 400 or 500 years ago
I'm fairly sure in Utah it's still like illegal for women to wear pants on Sunday. Truly. Like I really believe that's one of those weird laws that just never got reversed.
Because they become nonsense and people stop thinking about them. And this,
Gary decided to grace us with his presence.
better late than never, asshole.
Well, now that Gary's here, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Good.
If there's a messed up law, go for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Amen. Like I said, I'm jealous. I'm jealous this guy found that loophole before we did, or before somebody else could have.
And usually I have a great disdain for police officers, but in this case, I think this guy's an absolute genius.
That is a conversation we will not ever get in on this podcast. Matt and I have very different views on police officers, and it tends to
get
very heated. Yeah.
We do. And Derek, I was talking about you earlier about how how you and I tend to disagree quite a bit, like guns and things like that, but we can have general, like, human conversations. And earlier, Derek put out a message. I thought he was really mad at me. Like, I thought I pissed him off from our conversation because he was basically telling the world to F off. That he didn't care about us because we were just his Facebook friends. And so I had to, like, write him and apologize because I thought I pissed him off, but thankfully he forgave me. Gary, I just seen that fine leave jerks. Well, man, maybe if you prioritized your days better, you could have listened to this podcast, which I thought went very well.
Matt went off on a lot of tangents, but that's pretty par for the course.
Don't I always?
Yeah.
I can't help it. Like, is that bad? It sounds like it's bad.
No.
I tend to just get rolling in something.
It's so funny to me. So, listening to you do your radio class, you get so jumbled and so, like, befuddled. Like, you can't make your mouth work, and you get so nervous as soon as you're recording, which is ridiculous, because the second you get on your podcast, you won't shut up. Like, I don't understand what the difference is.
Couple things. I'm getting graded, right? And even when I'm doing my, I'm getting graded. And then it's like out of my comfort zone because usually I'm either my radio show, right, on Mondays. I'm completely, because it's top 40s, and who gives a fuck about top 40s? I don't really get to talk, which I do think, humble brag here, I do think I'm pretty good at having a conversation and kind of flowing back and forth between different topics. But the radio doesn't give me that. It gives me like a minute to kind of spew all this, my opinion out, and I don't do well at that. And then it's just, it has to be specifically formatted. And I think there are things that I've gotten out of that will help me in the future, even for this show, which is one of the big reasons I want to take that class. But I've also definitely learned in that class that I will never be good at doing regular radio. I could probably do like a talk radio, like a morning drive or an afternoon drive, where the majority of is conversation. But this top 40, like, talk for 50 seconds and then play a song and then talk for 50 seconds. I get jumbled. I get confused. I get lost. And the thing is, then I get nervous because the second I get a little bit lost in what I'm covering for that break, I just freeze up. Go ahead. What did I miss?
No, Gary just, like, spam-liked you up to 100 likes.
Yes.
I have to take a second and shout out to Jamie, his daughter, because she apparently is killing it on the court these days. She not only started in her game today, but she got 8 points as well, so it sounds like she's killing it, kicking some ass and taking names.
The whole Black family.
Way to go, Jamie.
The whole Black family, yeah, congratulations, Jamie. The whole Black family is like sports heroes. His little boy's doing phenomenal in football. Gary's hooking us up on likes.
So you're saying we should be keeping up with the Blacks, not keeping up with the Joneses?
Yeah, we need to be keeping up with the Blacks. Who would ever thought that would be like a thing? No, I'm playing. I love you, Gary. Derek, I need to go back to it and read that. Is it in that string? So back to Facebook. Is it in that whole thing that we were talking about? Because Colby and I usually, I don't know, I'd be interested to read that now and see what was going on. I love getting in other people's business and conversations and just throwing my 2 cents in. So anyhow, that is our time for tonight. Gary, sorry you missed most of the show. Like I said, guys, please like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, retweet us, share us. Go on and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to our show, go to iTunes, go to Google Play, anywhere you guys get podcasts, look up Pierce of Mind Podcast. Subscribe to us. Give us a good rating. We're really trying to get this show taken off the air. If that will happen at some point.
Yeah.
But no, we're trying to build the show. We have Gary and Kevin on Fridays, which is mostly sports, and then Kim and I here on Sundays, and it's kind of a little bit of everything. I'm waiting so we can really start to talk about marriage counseling in this podcast. I think that's when shit really gets interesting.
I feel like we should start taking therapy live on the air.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be so bad.
Here's what
bad.
Here's what I think we should do. Let's try this. We should, something we argue about this week, we should write it down, just the topic, and that should be a topic for next week's show.
And put a pin in it and then fight it out on the air. Oh my God, you're terrible.
That was ratings gold.
You're willing to air your dirty laundry, your dirty marriage laundry.
Here's the thing.
To get ratings.
Everyone knows I'm a douche. Everyone knows 90% of the time I'm in the wrong in our marriage. And
I'm just waiting for you to realize that.
everyone knows I'm selfish. I'm willing to put myself out there. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you're going to ask me to think of crazy ideas, I think it'd be awesome. Not even put a pin in it. We could work through it.
We'll see.
And then bring it back up. Or I know you refuse to do podcasts when you're mad at me, but I still think those would be podcast gold.
Yep. I don't know.
I don't want you to be fake. I want you to be mad at me on the air. Be like, oh, you have a 2-inch dick. Oh, wait. Now you're telling me it's twice as big as you said yesterday. What?
I was about to say nobody needs to hear that, and then you said that. It's like you read my mind.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Love us. Tweet us out. Make us known. We will see you guys next week. You guys have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.